Before you start executing your ideas, you need to listen to this video. As a matter of fact, you should not start your business if all you have are plans that are as blank as this sheet of paper. And I'll explain to you in a moment. I'm Maruta Say, and this is the fourth video in Before You Start series, where we share information that will help you and guide you through all of the process that you need before you actually start that business. Having a business plan is very key to starting your business, and I'll explain to you. Assuming you're traveling, you will not just pick up yourself, go to the airport, and assume that you bought any flight that will take you out there. At the least, you make certain plans, you look for flight bookings, you probably check hotels that you stay. That process that you go through in looking for all those information and putting together that plan, you can liken that in your business to having a business plan. And it takes being able to put together incorporate all of the information that comes from your market research into an executable plan that will form the strategy for the implementation of the business ideas that you are having. All right, we'll now talk about some of the components that you need in a business plan that will allow you to be able to put together all of the core strategy that will help you when you're implementing your business. I'll talk about the legal aspects of running the business. Now, I know that in this climate, many people probably just start a business, they set up an Instagram handle, and then before you know, the business has started. But you need to consider the legal requirements before you start that business. Do you need to register with the corporate affairs of any country that business is going to be located? If you're in Nigeria, you need to register with the CAC to be able to say, oh, before I'm starting this business, I have my legal registration, business name, limited liability name, all sorted out. In certain countries, that can be a crime if you start a business without the proper registration because of that process. So whatever country you are in, before you start your business, you should always have it in mind to be able to check out what are the legal requirements for this business to operate as a business entity. Then you also have to look at food and drug registration. Let's say you're in the food business, you're in the skincare business, or you're doing any particular thing that claims to be a particular drug that solves a particular ailment. You need to look at that regulatory requirement that is required for that business to be able to operate. In Nigeria, for instance, you need NAFDAC registration. You cannot sell a food product without going through that proper channels of getting that registration sorted out. In other countries like the US, you have their Food and Drug Administration department where you have to go and do that proper registration for whatever food product that you have, whatever drug product that you have, go through all of the testing for drugs, go through the clinical trials that are probably required for that particular drug before you put that drug into the market. These are serious things that you need to consider before you actually start your business. It's not just about, oh, yes, I have a fantastic idea, and then you just start throwing out that idea into the market. Another aspect of legal requirements that I will talk about is something called SCOM in Nigeria, right? Which has to do with businesses that are car dealer kind of businesses. You want to sell jewelries, you are into consulting, you need to be able to register with the EFCC, and that process allows you to be able to, for them to be able to monitor what they call money laundering, right? And it's a very, very serious offense if you do not have that and you're operating a business that is within any of those sectors that I've mentioned earlier. One of the other things that you consider as part of your business plan is the product and services. Yes, we know you have a fantastic ideas, but what are the products that you want to sell? What are the services that you want to sell? How do you plan to price those services? Are you pricing your services, or within that pricing structure that you have, are you considering your manpower cost? Are you considering operational cost? Or maybe you think because you're just in your bedroom, then you can just say, okay, let me just put X amount of money on top of the price that I bought this particular product and begin to sell. It goes beyond that. Even though you might be selling in your bedroom, which is not a bad thing. Most businesses started from their garage, right? And so, yeah, we're not here to crucify you because you're starting in your bedroom. But we're saying that while doing that, you should be able to put that structured process in place that will ensure that, oh, you have an adequate pricing structure to be able to say, oh, okay, these are my operational costs. Because you have to think of the future of that business. If that business is going to leave your bedroom and going to start maybe renting an office space, what's going to be the cost of the office? Spread that over a particular month. You can now use that to calculate the unit cost for every product or services that you are offering to people. Take, for instance, when we worked with a freelance CV writer that was, at the time, was charging 500 naira per CV. And that sounds outrageous to me when I think about it now, right? But at that time, the particular person in question can be able to implement that because, oh, they were just graduating out of NYC. There was no much obligations for them. But part of the strategy that we implemented for them was to be able to push them to say, oh, you have to increase this price because if you run a business with that amount of pricing, that business will be unsustainable. Yes, of course, you have the fear of, oh, if we increase the price, will people want to still patronize us? But if you offer a quality product or you offer a quality service, irrespective of the price, of course, from your market research, you would have been able to see prices that your competitor also charge for that particular product. And then you can also use that to be able to peg the adequate and the right price for your products. But then don't charge very ridiculous, affordable amount just because you want to get clients. No, no, no. That can actually run you out of business. And it's something that you need to take seriously and you need to consider. You also need to consider the market demand for that product or that services that you are offering. Again, this is going to come from market research. And in our previous video, we talked about market research and how you can actually implement all of that processes to do an adequate market research for your business idea. Because if there's no demand for the products that you are offering to the market, then It's just a matter of time. You'll be out of business. And we don't want to see that happen. And that's why we're putting out these videos to be able to give you all of the information that you actually need before you go on this entrepreneurship journey. You also have to look at target market segments. Oh, just because you are offering a particular product or you're offering a particular service does not mean everybody is going to buy that product. Does not mean everybody is going to buy that services. And this is one of the misconceptions we see when we talk to business people and talk to entrepreneurs, because it's like, oh, okay, who are you selling this product for? I say, oh, everybody. No, 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 no. You're not selling to everybody. You need to look at the specific audience, the specific target people that you are selling. Or like one of the fashion brands that we're admiring that sells fashion clothes that are targeted to plus size women. Now that's a specific target market. And then when you're not implementing strategies, you can have focus on implementing strategy that serve that audience. When you're not doing your market research, you cannot have a proper market research that can able to estimate the actual size and demand of that market and be able to say, okay, yes, we're the right business to serve this. We say, oh, because you're a fashion brand, we sell to everybody. Sometimes your marketing plans will be in disarray because you do not know, oh, are we marketing to plus size women? Are we marketing to skimpy women? And all of that. And it makes all of your plans a little bit messy. Yes, I understand that there's also a layer of having different products that serve different market niches. Yes, that's also right. But that has to come when you have a proper business plan that aligns that, oh, for us, there's this plan that's going to serve this market segment. There's this plan that's going to also serve this other market segment. And then we also now have to look at what's your marketing plan. Many businesses start out without thinking about how am I going to get these products from wherever they are into the hands of the people that actually need the product, who are the consumers, right? You have to think about your marketing plan. Oh, what are the platforms that I want to use in marketing this product that I'm selling? What are the platforms that I want to use to market this service that I'm selling? Oh, how much is it going to cost me in marketing costs now to be able to market on each of these platforms? Because you find out that when you do not have these appropriate plans, that's why when you start implementing, you start running into problems. Let's say, for instance, you have a product, you feel, by the time I just get into Facebook or I get into Instagram, I can just pay for ads. And then you find out that, oh, now you've paid for ads, the ads are not converting. What do? You're spending money, you're not making revenue, income. Now you put yourself in a very difficult position. And then after a while, if you continue in that circle, you find out that, oh, you do not have the spare capital to be able to run that business. And then you become part of the statistics of businesses that are failing. For your friends, no, 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 no. The goal of why we're doing all of this is to say that you will not be among the statistics of businesses that have failed, or you actually be among the statistics of businesses that are succeeding, right? I want you to engage with us. You can comment if you're having any challenges while running your business. Maybe you started, you didn't have the proper business plan. You can drop a comment in this video, and one of our team members will always find a way to reach out to you so that we can find a way to help you solve all of those challenges. I'm going into an aspect that is very dear to me because you find out that you have to think about, oh, what is the estimated survival cost for me as a person who have this idea, who wants to run this business, right? Yes, it's something a lot of people don't think about, but you have to think about it. Because when you're starting out a business, you have to know that at the initial stage of that business, maybe the income from that business might not, or the revenue from that business might not be able to sustain you as the entrepreneur and also have enough funds to be able to reinvest into the business. You see where I'm coming from, right? So that means before you start, you need to plan out, oh, do I have some spare funds that I'll be able to use in surviving as the owner of the business? Especially because as a young business, that business might not be able to pay you a befitting salary to cater for your own personal needs. Yes. Oh, in some instances, you might need to be able to now say, oh, do I delay gratification and say, oh, I want to cut my cost to a barest minimum so that I can accommodate the growth of the business. But when you think about that estimated cost of survival, you can now be able to look at all of the factors that you need to put in place, either cutting costs, personal costs to be able to make that business run, or putting up other strategies to say, oh, okay, I have some savings that I can be able to rely on for a couple of months, maybe a year. That's the best case scenario we tell entrepreneurs to be able to say, oh, I have 1 year to figure out so that I can figure out this business and see if it's going to work. I can not put in my energy into growing the business, especially because businesses are like kids, young kids, right? You need to be able to give them the right amount of milk. You need to be able to give them the right amount of nurture, especially at that early stage, to be able to ensure that they grow properly and then they do not have stunted growth. And that's one of the reasons why we're putting out all of this information and all of this series for you. Now that you've sorted your personal survival cost, now you now need to look at what's the cost that will be required to actually now start this business. We're discussing with a fashion entrepreneur in one of our consulting sessions, and then we threw that question to her, oh, okay, what do you think it would cost you to be able to start this fashion business? She danced around, and yes, because most entrepreneurs do not think about that to say, oh, what are the full costs that will be required for me to be able to start this business? Maybe they just have 100,000, 50,000. They just say, okay, once I buy this amount of goods, I can be able to resell them, and then wow, they buy those goods, they start the business, and the business start running. No, no, no. That's not the proper way to do that. I'm not saying there might not be anything wrong with that. There are a certain percentage of people that start that way and then they make it work by learning on the job, which is a tedious process you don't want to go through. Yes, I understand you don't want to go through that process because I've been through it, and I can tell you for a fact that it's not one of the nicest experiences you should have as an entrepreneur. But you now begin to look at your startup costs. You cannot say, oh, what are the costs of machinery that I probably need to operate? If I'm not going to name machineries, or what are the costs of goods? Or if I'm going to buy this amount of goods for X amount of money, maybe 50,000 naira, $50,000, whatever the amount is, depending on where you're washing from, You cannot be able to say, oh, okay, what amount am I going to spend on marketing? What amount, if probably I need to now bring in somebody that's going to serve in a particular role, or, oh, I want to bear the role myself. And then you cannot eliminate that cost. But if you're going to need somebody that's going to help you in that business, in growing that business, you also need to be able to estimate for the cost of manpower cost, right? So you have to say, oh, okay, if I'm going to bring X person into this business, you join maybe as a customer support, as a marketer, or whatever role you think you need, you have to estimate that into the cost. And then you now have a final cost that you cannot say, oh, before I'm starting this business, I need ₦1 million, I need $1 million, I need $500,000 to be able to start this business. Now, when you add that with your survival cost, right? Hey, don't forget our survival costs, right? You can now be able to say that, oh, this overall cost that we have, both your personal cost, your survival cost now, and the startup cost, do you have that money saved? Now you see why you actually need to think about that. Because if you do not have that money saved and you jump into starting that business, you are going to run into cash constraints, something that's called cash constraints, which means that in the course of the business, especially when revenue are not going as you are planning, you find out that, oh, you need to put in more money into the business to be able to make that business grow. And then you find out that you do not have the money anywhere to be able to now implement all of those plans and grow the business. Again, I don't want to talk about the boring side. That's not why we're here. So, but if you have all of that cost sorted, you can now initiate other things that you want to say, oh, if I don't have the money, is there a way I can raise the money? Can I get money from friends and family? What other things? Can I apply for grants? Can I do all of the other things that I need to do to be able to raise that money so that when I'm starting, I know that I'm starting in the proper way, and you can now channel all of your efforts into building a thriving, profitable, and sustainable business. I guess you enjoyed all of the conversations that we've had, right? So all of the conversation, or the summary of the conversation that we've had, is that you need all of these aspects of things sorted in your plan. Yeah, not like that blank sheet that I showed you earlier in this video, right? But you have everything written down. You can go back to them, you can look at them, you can review them, you can revise them, and you can be able to, yeah, they are not fixed. You can adjust them as you grow in the business. There are certain things that, oh, when you grow, oh, I don't need this part. But it serves as a guide to keep helping you to revise your plan as you build towards a thriving, profitable, and sustainable business. I know you enjoyed the video, but yes, I need something from you, right? There's a button down there that says subscribe. Click on it so that you get more of the videos that we'll be creating as part of this series. Like this video, share it with your friends that are business people. Some of them might have started the wrong way. You want them to start the right way. You love them, right? Share with them, share with them. I still remain Arutase, and this is still our Before You Start series. Watch out for the next video.